It's official, America's worst nightmare just announced plans to run against Trump in 2020. During the 2016 election, the left said that President Trump was making a show out of his campaign because of his refusal to fall in line. The president took a page out of President Reagan's playbook and figured out how to talk and appeal to the people directly, without dealing with the parties or the media. Which, as a lot of us thought, was a far cry from making a mockery of the process, but they're liberals, they'll cry over anything. Since it worked out so well for him and considering what a frenzy left America is in, one of the nation's most ridiculous lawmakers has decided to try to stand up to the president, using his own methods. This insane and delusional congresswoman has made a name for herself on two things: corruption and objecting to the president. The problem with her plan is that the president had a message that Americans wanted to hear, and she doesn't. I'm talking, of course, about Democratic Representative Maxine Waters. Whether you call her Andy Maxine, Gangsterlean Maxine, or just the dumbest congresswoman in America, the result is the same: one woman with one mission to do whatever she has to do to evict President Trump from the White House. Via Breitbart News. Senator Bernie Sanders, IVT, was embraced by young voters when he ran for president in 2016. And now it's Representative Maxine Waters, RCA, at 78, she is 3 years older than Sanders, who says she would run for president if millennials want me to. Ahead of an appearance in New Hampshire, Waters, who has repeatedly called for the impeachment of President Donald Trump, was asked by the Daily Caller if she would consider running for president. Waters said she was in New Hampshire just to support the Democratic Party, but when pressed by the Daily Caller, she admitted her presidential ambitions. "I'm not running for anything but my own seat," Waters said. "I don't have any presidential aspirations. If the millennials want me to do it, I'd do it, though," Waters said. According to an invitation obtained by New Hampshire's mayor, Waters is set to be in the state on Sunday for a picnic scheduled to be at the Miller Farm in New Durham, where she will be around members of the Strafford County Democratic Committee, the Daily Caller reported. On Wednesday, New York City Magazine ran an interview with Waters entitled, "Maxine Waters is Learning from Millennials." Waters told the magazine she has a right to be angry. "There's a history of enslaved African Americans having to make their slave masters comfortable," Waters said. "This business of what we call scanning and grinning, that is something African Americans are very much cognizant of." Waters also said of the investigation by Special Counsel Robert Mueller into Russian meddling in the 2016 presidential election, "I think Trump is in for new possibilities of either being charged criminally or, as I think, impeached." Waters was asked what she would say to President Trump if she could have a private conversation with him. "I would not waste my time," Waters said. So apparently Maxine is just waiting for someone born after 1980 to tell her she'd make a good president, and she's got her James Brown wig ready to throw in the ring. While this is totally laughable, we can't ignore the fact that she's doing a pretty good job of convincing certain groups that she's on their side, despite the fact that her life is in complete contradiction. Some news sources, like The Hill, consider this to be an empty threat, but they did quote what Waters had to say about the president, and it's not a joke at all. "I was absolutely appalled by what I learned about Trump during the campaign and the way that he conducted himself, the way that he treated women and the handicapped, and the way that he basically had an agenda that polarized our society," Waters said, explaining the genesis of her campaign. "So out of that, I decided to speak up, and to speak out, and to let others know how I felt. I really did think there were others who were having the same discomfort with him that I was having," she added. "And I thought that it was important for them to know that a member of Congress, an elected official, was feeling this way." Elle magazine ran an article pronouncing that Waters will read you now. It went viral, and millennials, in particular, began to follow her campaign, christening her Andy Maxine along the way. "I've been speaking out and then the millennials adopted me. I didn't have any idea that they were paying attention, or what I was saying was resonating with them," she said. They started to call me anti-Maxine, and to tweet, and to go on Facebook and use the social media, not only to show that they were pleased that I was speaking truth to power, but they wanted to engage. Several months later, a Salon editor listed reasons Waters should make a presidential run. And this week, a conservative outlet highlighted an upcoming trip she's taking to New Hampshire, suggesting Waters might be taking the hype seriously. Let's be clear, we don't want to take Maxine herself seriously, but if we can come that uncomfortably close to electing Monica Lewinsky's ex-boyfriend's wife, let's not make the mistake of assuming that America knows better. Share if you think Maxine Waters is insane. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe Breaking News 365 channel. Goodbye and see you again.